we have another panel for you. And so what we're doing is at the beginning of the day we brought 4 people up to do a business panel, and now we're going to do a wellness panel. So we've curated these women who will bring tools, ideas, and encouragement to help each of us create our own path so we can show up fully as our best selves. You're going to want to tune into this because they each bring a different perspective on health and wellness. And is anyone in the room a human being? Yeah? I mean, we know we're women mostly, but like, are there humans in here? Because if you're a human being, you can get something from this wellness panel and today implement it into your life. So, Dr. Susie, come up here as I introduce our panelists. First, we're going to give her a big round of applause for her cameo. Okay, so we're going to have Leah Winstead. This is a luxury travel expert. She's director of global events for a global software company, the founder of the Jet Set Mindset. Woo! Leah is dedicated to crafting meaningful travel experiences that help women reconnect with themselves and discover their most grounded and confident selves. Next, we have Ahuna Freeman. She's the co-founder of Southside Discount Pharmacy and the leader of Aligned Care LLC. Ahuna is a pharmacist and an entrepreneur dedicated to enhancing community health care. All right. Next, we have Miss Erin Stringer. Erin is right here. She is a strategic philanthropy leader. Erin.
Okay.
I love that. Come find me after. I need you in my club. Erin is the strategic philanthropy leader, advancing children's health care across complex health system environments. And then we have Monifa Robinson. Where are you? Monifa is CEO of Within Your Reach Consulting Services. She's a leadership and personal development coach who empowers women to step boldly into the life they were designed to live, free from fear and imposter syndrome and anchored in purpose. The Dream Team.
Woo! That was awesome. You just gotta listen to that one. I'm gonna hand this to you guys. I'm gonna wait for them to turn them on. They're on. All right. I'm gonna call on you guys first, so I'll have specific
No,
questions.
just for a minute.
All right, y'all, check out this lineup. I'm just saying, this is
No,
our
I
first
can't.
ever wellness panel,
telling you.
so I'm so excited about that. Also, how cute is this hat? I'm just so excited. I'm from Texas, y'all, so I'm like rolling out all the turquoise and the western today. I'm loving it. Okay, so we have some questions that you guys sent in ahead of time, and then we're gonna have some live Q&A if we have time. So be thinking about what you want to ask these lovely ladies. Okay. So for our opening question, I want to ask each of you approaches wellness from a different lens: healthcare, leadership, philanthropy, and transformative experiences. How do you personally define wellness in this season of your life? We'll start here and roll down.
Yes. Hey, everybody. So in this season of my life, I define wellness as surrender. Surrender to who, to what, you may ask. But no, and for me, it's extremely important to be anchored in faith. So my surrender to Jesus Christ is is the main way that I define wellness, because it keeps me anchored. It keeps me out of my own way. It keeps me focused. It keeps me purpose-driven.
Love that.
In this season of my life, I have found that I've actually stopped chasing balance. I know that's the word that we've been saying that we want. I've stopped chasing that. But I've really started practicing alignment, and that to me is wellness in this season of my life.
I love that.
Absolutely, I love that. And I have to say, in this season of my life, I also noticed that the definition of wellness has been changing, and it changes as you age. And it really just comes down to what you perceive as being well and feeling well, without using the word healthy. So what feeds your soul and what will keep you moving forward? That's what wellness should look like for you.
Love that.
And just like Erin, mine is alignment as well. And so to me, I think, what does alignment even mean? So I think calm, cool, collected. Do I feel that way in this moment? A lot of times I don't. So, how can I get there? How can I create a peaceful situation? How can I feel supported? So, it's alignment for me as well.
Okay. All right, so be thinking about your questions. Now that y'all know a little bit about each of them, be thinking. So Aaron, I want to come to you if y'all will pass the mic to Aaron. So the 3 words, when I was looking through all of your stuff, the things that jumped out to me are leadership, impact, and balance. So I want to ask you, you work in strategic philanthropy, supporting children's healthcare systems. In high-stakes leadership roles like yours, how do you maintain personal clarity and balance while making decisions that impact so many lives?
I love this. It's something that I have been practicing really thoughtfully, especially this past year and a half. You know, I don't do any of the work alone. We have great systems in place. We have amazing teammates in place. Some are here today to cheer me on. And that's part of it, knowing you're not alone. But some of the work to make you feel clear in your decision making and really great about yourself and the impact that you can have comes from being clear on who you are, what the mission and vision is for your organization, but also for you as a person. Who are you? What are your unique qualities? And how you can always rely on that. I think that also allows you to know you're going to make clear and good, impactful decisions for your organization, for your families, for your business, for you personally. And again, I think that makes you feel well.
I love that. I can attest to that. I met with her for coffee, y'all, and so we sat down, and she whips out a journal and like a mindfulness plan she's got, and she's got matching pens, and I was like, I found my person. Like, it was so cool. But she just was like, well, here's my gratitude, and here's what and I'm like, yes, and it was so good. And like, but it was who she was. She wasn't trying to put on a show for me, so it was so cool. So second question for you, Aaron. You mentioned that clarity fuels confidence. What practical habits, see, we're going to give you actionable items to take with you. Y'all with me? What practical habits help leaders create that clarity in their lives?
Well, I'll speak for me. I decided, like I said, about a year and a half ago, I was going to really be intentional about all of these things that we're talking about. Wellness, confidence, speaking, just what's next in my life. I didn't want to sit still anymore. And so I hired a coach for myself, and not that you all need to do that, but that was part of what I wanted to do. I wanted to put in the work, intentional work, to help myself feel more clear and aligned. And the things that I did, I think everybody can write this down and do it yourself. We all have things about ourselves that are unique to us. It makes us who we are, and no matter the situations in your life, those unique qualities, the things that seem to come easy to you, that you just love doing, lean into that. So I decided with my coach that we were going to take time and think about the 3 to 5, my list then grew and grew as I did this practice, unique qualities that I felt I can bring everywhere I go, and that really describes me as a unique person. Some of the first things I wrote down was creative, confident, and also optimistic. And then I decided I was going to write down things that happened to me during the days that made that true. I was optimistic today when I did this. And you go through all of those things, and you start creating a list and a timeline of the things that this is me. This is me all the time, and no matter what, I'm going to be this. In any room I come in, I'm going to show up this way. And that makes you feel, I think, confident in yourself. And then you start aligning your actions to that. So I would encourage everybody to do it. It really helped me, and I feel a lot more confident in rooms that I walk into, situations that I've been put in front in, and hard decisions. I know I'm going to show up that way, and it feels really great.
And so if ladies had a question about your wellness coach or your journey on that, could they talk to you afterwards?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Her name's Jillian Mealy. She's the absolute best.
Awesome. All right, Miss Monifa. Your 3 words that popped out for me were faith, leadership, and imposter syndrome. Many women in leadership struggle with imposter syndrome, which we heard amazing things about just before this, but also internal pressure to constantly prove themselves. What are some ways women can overcome those internal barriers from your perspective?
That's good. So the way I want to kind of start this first is with, because all three of those things do intertwine and integrate into one another. So one of the things I say when it comes to imposter syndrome and all of that is we have to begin to peel back the layers, right? So at the very core, when I'm working with clients on imposter syndrome and faith and leadership, I ask them this: what is your value and identity tied to? We're talking about identity, we're talking about value, we're talking about worth. What do you tie all of those things to? Spoiler alert, if you tie it to people, if you tie it to validation, if you tie it to outcomes, you're always going to have a problem. Right? So for me, I tie my identity and my value and worth to something that stays steady, which is my faith, right? And from that, I'm able to maneuver and get guidance and clarity and direction. So I start by saying, ask yourself, what am I saying? What do I say is the main thing that I should be following, right? Like, I want everyone here to love who I am, but there are 250 women in here. If I tie my value and my worth to all of you, it's a wrap, right?
So
I mean,
like
I love you and I want you to love me, but I have to have something steady.
So like a strong foundation.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
So from that, your work emphasizes leading with peace instead of hustle. I love that. Lead with peace instead of hustle. In a culture that often celebrates burnout, right, and hustle all the time, what does leadership with peace actually look like in practice? Like if you were to talk to these women and say, here's how we do this without it being about the grind and the hustle.
Anybody that knows me knows that I don't hustle. I don't.
She says, I don't hustle.
I used to. I'm in recovery. I don't
We'll
hustle.
start a club.
I don't hustle because hustle to me tells me that society, people, circumstances, things control. They control my emotions, they control my behavior, they control my thoughts, right? They're the puppet master and I'm just a puppet. It takes intention out of the picture. It takes purpose out of the picture, right? So when we talk about operating in peace versus hustle, we're talking about being regulated, right? And not just pulled by every whim that comes about, right? When we talk about operating in peace, we're talking about operating in purpose. And ladies, let me tell you, purpose will take you further than hustle ever will. Purpose will keep you when things are down. Purpose will have you going, even if going means just pausing and sitting still. Purpose will keep you from giving up. Hustle tires you out. Hustle keeps you tied to people, places, and things that aren't necessarily good for you. So if I were to say, what do we do to operate more in peace versus hustle? Slow down. Think about clarity. I know people don't like balance, but think about balance. But I got another talk for balance later. But think about balance and think about purpose. Those are the things I would say start with.
Yeah, because I think too, when you're saying balance, I think Erin was saying chasing balance, which aligns with what you're saying is the hustle, the grind, right? Okay, which is great. So the anchor being the purpose instead of the hustle. I love that. All right, Miss Leah. For you, I have travel and personal renewal. Y'all, when I read her stuff and she's like, I plan girl getaways, and I'm like, oh, I want to be friends with her. So I'm so excited. I'm be like, I want to plan one. Don't y'all want to plan a girl getaway? Come on now. I never do that. I talk about it all the time. And have I planned one? No. But that's going to be this year.
I got you.
Right?
I got you.
We got this. So you describe travel as a way to reconnect with ourselves. Why do you think stepping outside of our daily environments can be so powerful for personal growth?
So, our environment is what shapes us. And by a show of hands, I'm just curious, how many ladies in here are moms? It's a lot. All right. How many of us have gone on a vacation with our families? All right. What about girls' trips that we were just
Never.
talking about? Who's gone on a girls' trip? Bachelorette?
Raise them high. Let's see. Oh,
Okay,
all right.
okay.
I need to talk to y'all.
Now, here's the next question. How many of you have gone on a girls' trip since having kids, if you've had kids? I'm
Oh
so
my
proud of you.
gosh. Okay.
I love that.
I love that.
Because what that signifies is that you are carving out time for yourself. And the next one I'm going to ask is, how many of you have taken solo trips?
Oh,
I
solo
love these
trips.
empowered women. Yes.
Dang.
So proud of you. So what it is that our environment, where we go to work, when we're at our house taking care of our families, it shapes who we are. You know, as they say, you're a reflection of the 5 people you're closest to. Well, sometimes those people live in your house. Sometimes those people are at your office. And so when you travel, you're truly breaking away from your regular your routine, your normal day-to-day life. And that is when you can truly start remembering, who was I before I was a mom? Who was I before I had this corporate job or an entrepreneur? And especially as we start getting older, it's like you sometimes can forget how important it is to schedule time for yourself and really pour into yourself. So I think travel is a great way to do this because it truly forces you out. It removes you from your environment. And then if you can travel maybe without your family or not on a work trip, that even helps you restore yourself more.
I love that. All right, one more, Miss Leah. So for women who may not have the ability to travel often, what are some ways they can create moments of reflection and renewal in their everyday lives?
So while a passport gives you the opportunity to see the world and learn from the world, which is so important, we don't always have that much time. So something that Dr. Kendra talked about this morning was listening to music. I mean, you can carve these little tiny, you might have heard them, pockets of peace. You might have heard self-date. But this is a time that you can schedule. It could be during your lunch hour. Honestly, it could be if you are going to the grocery store and you just sit in your car for 5 extra minutes. This is time for you. And sometimes that just little amount of time can help you, again, return to yourself, feel like your best self, and then show it better for everyone else.
I love that. How many of us feel guilty carving out time for ourselves or struggle with it? I'm getting over it. I'm a recovering
Got it.
struggler with that.
Got it.
I'm learning to know my best answer. But right, and that's so weird because when we are depleted, I mean, we've heard it all day from the beginning with Dr. Kendra all the way through. If we're depleted, how are we showing up? Not just for everyone around us, but for ourselves, right? And then we're the ones that have to look in that mirror and be like, how am I showing up? What does this look like today? So sometimes we think it can be selfish or we're not, I mean, we've talked about it all day, like if we're giving and giving and giving. So I think it's really cool. Of course, the $1 million trip to Fiji sounds awesome, but like we can also be creative in how we show up with hopefully people you've met here today. Taryn, we going to Fiji? Let's go, girl. I got you. All right. Thank you. All right, Dr. Ahuna. Community health and prevention were my words that I had for you. And I so enjoyed reading all about the work that you do. As a pharmacist and an entrepreneur working in community health care, what are some of the most common misconceptions people have about preventative health?
Okay, well, yes.
She said, okay.
There is definitely a lot of misconception about preventive health.
Can you pull your mic up? There you go.
There is definitely a lot of misconceptions about preventive health. And I would say in my role, definitely one of the first ones I see is the concept of if it's not broken, why fix it, right? So we don't wait, or we wait till something breaks before we start fixing it. Where in reality, what we do, just the boring things that we do on a consistent basis, day to day, that we actually enjoy, is really what will keep us from breaking. So that's one of the misconceptions. And then I see the one of having a list of supplements. You know, we don't want the pharmaceuticals. No, we have to do all natural. So we have a list of all these supplements that we have to take. But in reality, what are we doing along with those supplements? The tools, all of those, whether it's pharmaceuticals or the natural remedies, those are tools for preventive health. So if we're not doing the main foundation of what we're actually supposed to be doing, laying it down, don't get me wrong, things like magnesium or fish oil, omega-3s, they're meeting nutrition gaps. But we also have to create a lifestyle that supports that. So that's another one. And then the all or none. If I can't do it, I can, just forget it. When I get there, I just get there. I guess I'll just have to get there. You know, like we get started and then we discourage ourselves and then we just do a 360. So that's just one of the other things I see when it comes to
So making
prevention.
reasonable goals, right? Small wins.
Yes.
And then seeing the supplements or the prevention as like a piece of the whole wellness pie.
Seeing
right?
it as a tool.
Right. How many of y'all have 500 supplements on your shelf? I see y'all. I'm in recovery for that too. So
No, we won't judge you.
no judgment. They're making all that money off of us. So, you all right? I'm like, ugh, those Instagram ads. Liars. All right, y'all. Dr. Huna, what are a few simple health practices, like one or two, that could make the biggest differences in long-term health outcomes? Now, this is not medical advice, y'all, so let's just make sure we say that. But
Yes, absolutely not a medical advice, but I would say, and I'm coming from this state,
a wellness perspective.
wellness perspective in this stage of my life and things I've seen over decades of practicing, resistance training, because a lot of those prescriptions and medications that I dispense, honestly, the muscle will help you. If you can start today, now keep up with it, because the muscle will help you down the road. When we get older, we lose muscle mass, we get frail. And if anyone here in the medical field knows, once you have that fall, you know, so just building the muscle now and keeping up with it, it's gonna help with a lot of things, metabolism, mobility when you get older, and just being comfortable, like knowing how to move. And then I would say in the long run to be empathetic towards yourself. You know, be able to look where you are at this stage of your life and think, what am I doing that is just gonna get me to the next step? Like, again, comes down to your perception of your wellness. So we're used to, as women, taking care of everyone else, but who's taking care of you? You know, no one is gonna come to save you. I tell my sister that all the time. So yes, always think of that, be empathetic about yourself, and don't feel bad about that. It's gonna help you to stay well, and
Okay,
I
that's
think
great.
that's good for now.
I love that. Okay, so I'm going to throw these to some of our panelists, and then if you guys have, we're going to try to do the last couple minutes for questions. So if you have them, get ready. So let's see. Monifa, if somebody in the audience wanted to start improving their overall wellness this week, what's one small change they could begin with? One small one, quick.
First, just breathe. Slow down and breathe.
Okay.
Literally and figuratively. So many times we make so many rash decisions, and then we wonder why we end up in situations that we're in. Just slow down and breathe.
I mean, there's evidence to back that, right? I know for me, before I make a decision, I make myself take a breath. Or before I respond to somebody that might not be delightful to interact with, and you feel that coming up, right? Oh, y'all have that too? Oh. And so when you have that feeling, when you make yourself take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth, it literally sends a signal from your brain to your nervous system to calm down. And you'll be so glad for those 10 seconds, because how many times have we wished we could swallow what we just said as soon as it came out of our mouth? And we can't. I did it yesterday. So, Aaron, what is one belief about success or wellness that you had to unlearn? I put her on the spot.
I think that if you're looking at someone and you think, wow, that person's really, really confident and I wish I had confidence, that's probably the wrong question and perspective. I think confidence is really the work that you put in to understand you and you align with you, and you continue to do those practices, and confidence comes with it, and then that's what you're showing the world. I really feel that I have unlearned looking at someone and be like, wow, they're really confident, and not thinking about all of the things that came before.
So like comparison.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's that saying? Comparison is the thief of joy. Is that right? Yeah. All right. I love that. Okay. So I want to get each of y'all, if you don't mind. Gosh, this went way too fast. I had like 20 more questions for y'all, but we'll next year. All right. As we close, for each of y'all, starting with Leah, what's one piece of wisdom you hope every woman here leaves with today? What do you want them to take away?
I want you all to always remember you don't have to earn time to rest. That is something that you are born deserving. And I know as life gets more and more hectic and busy, just always prioritize yourself. And sometimes that means get out of your house, get out of the state, get out of the country.
And so if they want to do that, they can come see you, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
We want
Shameless
the
plug.
journey
There we
back
go.
to yourself.
That's right. Dr. Ahuna, one piece of wisdom you want these ladies to have.
I would definitely say it's not about, when it comes to wellness, it's not really just about the numbers, because numbers are what we see when we measure those things, but your mental health and your physical health is kind of like a loop feedback. And with mental health, you can't always see those numbers. So just remember that how you feel, the burden you're carrying, can also translate to how physically ill you can be without the numbers showing it.
That's good. Aaron, one piece of wisdom you want to impart to these ladies.
Wellness is the ability for yourself to choose yourself again and again.
Period. All right, Monifa.
I would say get out of your own way.
Oh, okay. Y'all
That's-
writing these
that-
down?
That's something that I've had to learn, something that I'm continuing to learn and walk in. Oftentimes, the expectations that we place on ourselves cause us to be unwell mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually.
Well, I can't think of a better way to end this wellness panel. Y'all give it up for these amazing panelists. We barely scratched the surface with them, so look for them, y'all. If you have questions about any of the things they talked about or the services that they have or things that they do, please stop and ask them. We're all available to talk to y'all, so grab us. We want to talk to you. So thank you guys so much. Thank you, ladies. Y'all are amazing.